The other pro gets players rallying within 15 minutes. The other pro, me, gets players rallying and having fun playing tennis inside of 15 minutes with a great visual skill introduction to tennis, and you don't. If you do, good for you. I'm putting a link to an interview with Michelle Krause in the description. Take a look because we get into this. We really dig into why is it so important. But I'm going to get into it a little bit more right now. You can instantly boost your ability to retain and improve clients with the way you welcome them in during the first 15 minutes. 80% of tennis players simply want to rally, run around for 30 to 45 minutes with a friend, get some exercise, and then go home. They are not interested in playing a set ever. That's 80% of people who play tennis. That's what they want to do. 15% of people want to play social tennis and not look like an idiot. They don't really care that much if they lose as long as they play okay. 5% or less of players want to compete, but you and many people treat them all like the 5%. You're treating the 95% like the 5%, and you don't teach visual skills. And we're going to take a deeper dive into this. Hi, I'm Bill Patton, the Infinite Vision Coach. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Thank you to those who've already pitched in to buy me a coffee or a beer because you like the content so much. So thanks for watching. And in the down below in the description and YouTube, you'll see a link where you can send me a couple bucks if that's what you want to do. Obviously, if you're really struggling, I don't want you to give me any money. All right. The most important thing you can do at the beginning of a lesson, especially the very first lesson with a new client, is to put them at ease. They're anxious about meeting a stranger to do strange things in a strange place with people watching. When you talk to them for a moment about their goals and quickly do some easy things to reassure them that it's not going to be impossible, then you take them a long way along the path towards being successful. Anxiety clouds vision. So if you're making them anxious or you're not helping them become less anxious, then they are not going to see as well. If you have a player do something that has them immediately failing more than half the time, you're creating more anxiety. One thing I learned from Ken DeHart is that a simple ball tossing exercise at the beginning of a lesson, and I'm going to put a link to how I start my private lessons with a brand new student. And it's really funny because the player that I have is sort of an unusual person, very creative, interesting person. So we had a lot of fun with it. She let me tape it so you could see. I'm going to attach that link in there. You can see how I get started. But if you start with a little ball tossing exercise, it creates a low stress way for them to warm up their eyes. They can get their racket a little bit choked up, right? And then you can take a step back and have just a really tiny little rally. And that allows the 80% of people to feel successful that first time they have a little rally. And you can define it any way you want. I mean, as long as their shot's in, it counts. It doesn't have to be to you, right? And then you can just hit them another ball and keep counting. So make them successful. And you might have to set a little bit of a low bar for that to happen, but their success then gives you something to build on. If within 15 minutes time you can have a 10-shot rally with them in the short court, and that can happen 90% of the time, then you're going to retain a lot more clients. Most importantly, what you want to do is help people understand their contact point. So after a little bit of ball tossing and after a little bit of catching the ball on the racket with a really small little dinkum rally, then you can go and you can really establish their contact point because you've already worked on receiving skills to some extent, but having them understand that they're trying to catch the ball on the strings and let the racket do the work, that's pretty huge. Teach them some more advanced stuff by telling them, okay, see the ball come out of my hand. Because if they start training their eye to see the ball as you're tossing it come out of the hand, then it's not that hard for them to also then bridge that and see the ball coming out of the racket of the opponent. But if you're trying to teach them purely technique and how to swing from the get-go, you're going to lose a very large portion of your first-time lesson takers. They get frustrated. If they swing and miss numerous times, they're not coming back. They're going to feel like a failure. I retain almost 100% of my first-time lessons using visual skills. And out of the ones who don't come back, then maybe there's like a little compatibility thing. The chemistry between me and that person just isn't good. So they don't come back. So I can't please everybody, nor can you, but it wasn't for a lack of being able to teach them well. And then another portion of those people, they just wanted to come for one lesson because they wanted to learn how to rally, and then they were going to go over to the park and start playing with their friends. That was it. It's a one-time thing. And that's fine. I mean, so you have to be able to do that, deliver a lot of value in one lesson. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again later.